Okay, so going to the first slide. Yeah, first we will start with the local and the global variable. Okay, so local variable is simply which can be accessed within the block or a function, and a global variable, it can be accessed throughout the program. Okay, so I will just show you the one example in the Eclipse. I am creating one package. Click on the src, right click on the src, new package, session 5, finish. I have created the package. Now I will create a class. Global and local variable. It's a simple concept. Okay, I'm just taking this public static void main, so I can just show you that. Okay, now finish. This class got created. Now I'm just creating one method here. Public void method A. System dot println. Print or println, that's fine. I will just inside method A. Okay, I will delete this commental code. Now what is a local variable? Simply which is defined inside any method. Okay, so I will just declare this integer a is equal to 5. Okay, and I will just print this variable, the integer a. Okay, it will be 5. So I will just call this method through the main method, because our execution starts with main method only. So I will just create object of this class, global variable is equal to new global and local variable. I will use a reference dot method a. Okay, so now I will execute this, and expected output is inside method a and 5. I will just put some extra character there. Okay, I'm executing this code, run as Java application. So now you can see inside method a we are getting the 5. Okay, so this is called as a local variable. Now I'm creating another method. Method b. Okay, now I'm not changing this value, I'm just putting a as a 5 only. I'm just printing that. Oh, sorry, I have not called the second method. I will just call second method, method b. Okay, now I'll execute this. So that is a disadvantage of not using println. It is printing in same line only. So I will just use println, but output is correct. Okay, so yeah, so inside method a we are getting 5. Inside method b we are getting 5 again. Now, but if we are using same variable in two methods, it's the same value, so there is no use in define in at each and every method. Okay, so simply there is one alternate. I will just comment out this, and I will simply copy this variable and will keep outside the method and inside the class. Okay, so now it will be global. You can see the color actually. Now it's showing in the A, that in blue color. So it's a global now. So now I will execute this class. And I should get that same output that we got in the local variable method. Okay, so output is same here. Okay, now I'm just uncommitting this and I'm just changing the value of 5, means value of a. So I will just put it as a 1. Okay, so what output should I get now? So see, so always priority is for the local one. Okay, so now it will give priority to a1, and if it is not, I have not mentioned it, I have commented or I have not written this line, so it will just give the priority to this. Okay, so now I'm just uncommenting this. So what is expected now? Inside method a1, because it will give priority to the local one. And for second method, inside method b, the local variable is not present, so it will just give the priority to the global variable, this one. Okay, you can see the color difference actually. For the global one, you are seeing the blue one, and for local one, you are seeing that brown one. Okay, now I will just execute this program. Okay, so we are getting expected output that in method A, we are getting 1 as a local variable, and this is expecting the global variable. Okay, this is about the local and the global variable. Okay, so any questions in this? I think got one ping. Yes, Ritesh, we can use the shortcut as well. Sysout control space for system.out.println. Yeah, one question from Anand. If you declare the method inside the static non-static block, will it be a local or a global variable? Always, inside the method means it always the local one. Outside the method means it's always the global one. Just remember this, Anand. Okay, but inside the static method, you should always use a static variable. That's the criteria for the static method. Okay, Anand. Yeah, Anand got his answer. Okay, so we are done with this global and the local variable. Moving to the next slide. Yeah, put method and ZB in different class. Put method. I'm not getting actually, Shubham. Put method and method in different class. Okay. You mean to, I want to create a new class and I have to define the method and method B, right? So that's a different concept actually that we can access by using the inheritance. That's a separate part actually. If you are using this method A, method B in different classes, so altogether that's different classes, right? So there is no point in discussing this local and global variable. Local and global variable is only limited to the class level only inside the class. Okay, that inheritance concept we are going to see in upcoming lecture. Okay, then we'll talk about the function. The function actually we call it as a method as well. Okay, so in Java it's called as a method only. So the method in Java is a collection of instruction that performs a specific task and it provides the result to the code. So now I have written two functions here, two methods here. These are the methods actually. Okay, so we can write the code here and we can simply execute that. That's methods in Java. Okay, so that are the actually user defined methods because we have written the code here. Okay, so now we'll discuss the what is a predefined method that we are seeing at the start of the class that we have gone to the integer class. So in integer class we are seeing multiple methods there, so that all methods are the predefined method. So we will walk through this predefined method as well. I will just continue in this class. Predefined method, I can give any name. Okay, then I will declare one string here. String A is equal to test. B is equal to test in small letter. Now I will just tell you the predefined method. Suppose if you want to compare or if you want to get some character from the string, so we can use this method actually. I will just pick any random method now, char add index 1, and now I'll go inside this method. You can just simply control and right click on this method, or you will get the option open declaration or open implementation. So this is a predefined method actually of the string class. You can see string class is here, java.lang.string package. Okay, the method provided by the Java, all are the predefined method, and the method which we create, that are the user defined methods. Okay, so you will get all the methods by just putting dot and the control space bar. So you can you can just perform the action according to your requirement. Okay, this all the operation on the string we are going to see at the last of this session. Okay, at the end of the session today. So these are the predefined method and the user defined method. Okay, any questions here? I think this is a simple part. Okay, okay, fine. Then next, function parameter and return type. Okay, so you can see in the slide, so this public, when we return the method, when we write the method, so this public is a modifier actually. Modifier means it's access modifier. Suppose it will just decide where this method should be accessed, within a class, within a package, or publicly. That this first keyword will define that. This also will cover in separate session. I'm just giving the overview of the method now. Okay, and second parameter is a return type actually. Return type means if we are performing some action and we want to return some data to another method to reuse it, so we can just define the data type here at the second, in the second actually, after that access modifier. Third one is a method name, which we can give any. It should be relevant one, because if someone reading that method, it should be understand that for which purpose we have created this method. It should be meaningful again always. And last actually we are using the parameter. Suppose if you are doing the addition, so basic requirement is that we should have two parameters, then only we can do the addition. So accordingly, as per our requirement, we can pass the parameter. For example, in the automation framework, in some cases, in some framework actually, not everywhere, if you want to execute our code particular to the Chrome browser, we can simply pass Chrome in a enum, or we can just pass in a hardcode. Not hardcode is not supported there actually. We cannot do the hardcode, but it's enum actually, because for the type safety. So we simply pass the Chrome and it will just execute the Chrome code here inside this block. So this is the parameter actually that we will see in later for the automation. Now we will see for some addition or subtraction, these basic functions. Okay, so I will just create one new class here. Okay, I missed to call main method. I will just copy this and paste it in functions and return type. Okay, now I will create one method here, public. This is access modifier. Void means nothing, we are not returning anything. Now again method, it's the same method as we created earlier. I will just create again method A, because we are not performing any, actually we are just printing this any values. That's why we are not returning anything and we are not passing any parameter. This is a simple method without any return type and without any parameter. This is the first method. I will create a method with parameter now. I will just pass integer a comma integer b. Now I will just do the addition of this integer and integer b. So integer, I will declare integer c now. C is equal to a plus B. Okay. Now I will just print the value of C. I'm just copying this method name in sysout intentionally to see which method got printed. Okay. Okay. Now I will simply create an object of this class. These are basic things you should remember. That's why I'm typing every time. Control space bar is equal to new. Control space bar. Dot. Now I will call this method A first, and then method with parameter. Now here I have to pass something actually when we are calling the method. Okay. So I will just pass 1 and 5. Output should be 6. Now I'll execute this. Okay. So this is a simple method we seen earlier. This is second method with parameter. And we are performing addition operation here. You can see it here, A plus B, and we are getting output as a 6. So this is method with a parameter. But now see, we have printed this output, but in some cases we need this output, this C, outside the method to use. We can use this somewhere else. Okay. So now we are returning void. So in next time we will not return right. We will just return the int. Okay. I will just copy this. I will just rename this method with parameter and return type. Okay. And instead of void, I will just pass the integer. It is the data type actually again. So we know that the addition of the integer A and integer B will be the integer. So we have passed this integer as a return type. You can see return type of this method. Okay. Now it is showing the error. Okay. So this method must return a result because we have added this return type. Okay. So we will use this return. I will just delete this extra lines here. I will just return. I will use return keyword. Return C semicolon. Okay. So now this method will be used to get the addition of this A and B, and it will return where we are calling this method. Okay. So simply I will just call this method using the main method function return type dot method with parameter and return type. Okay. So here I will pass 1 and 2. Okay. I will execute this code now. We know this two operations, and then we will see for this method with parameter. I will just change the method name here. The last one. Okay, method with parameter and return type. You can see addition, it's a 3, but 3 we have printed, but we have not using it anywhere. So if you want to use it, we can simply assign this method to the integer like this. Integer. We can define. We can use any variable name here. Okay, integer addition. This is my variable name. Sorry, not colon. It's equal. Okay, and now from here I will print. Main method. Using plus sign to concat and just addition. I will just execute this code now. Okay, now simple method. This is a basic. I will just comment on this code now for the basic method and method with parameter now. I will just comment. Okay, now you can just simply look for these two printer statements. So method with parameter and return type addition is 3, means it is printed from this, from inside the method, from here. Okay, and I am returning this result of this method to the main method, means not main method actually, where we are calling that, means here actually in main method. So output of this will be integer only, and we are just using that for the printing purpose from the main method. Okay, so any parso doubt in this method with parameter and return types? Any doubts? Got one question. Yeah, from Keval, what is the difference between integer method and void method? And don't think about the integer method. Simply think about it's a method. Okay, I will just tell you another example. It's a return type only. This second will be always return type. It can be integer, it can be float, it can be string, it can be any data type. You have seen the primitive data type, right? It can be anything from that. And void means nothing. We are not returning anything. Means when we are printing the void, we are not able to write the statement like this actually. We cannot reuse outside the method, that out result of that method. So just remember this. Keval, your doubt is clear? Or if it is not clear, you can still ask. That's fine. Because this is a basic rules that you must know. Okay, fine. Yeah, second question from the Anand. Void won't return value, hence we have to use integer double method returning values. Yes, yes. Integer, not integer double only, any primitive data type you can use here to return the data based on the requirement. Suppose we are just performing some action on the string, so you have to use the string instead of that int in the method. Okay, so one question from the Govind. Can you please explain how to use command line argument in the main method? Actually, forgot about that part, Govind. We are not using that part. This part. Actually, when we are executing this file from the CMD, then we are using this part. Now, for time being, just leave that. Actually, in automation framework, we are not going to use this main method. Okay, we are using some extra jars. So don't think much about this main method parameters. Now we have started with the Java. That's why we are using the main method here. Okay. Later time we will discard this method and we will just execute by alternate way. Okay. So answers are clear from my side. Okay. Okay, fine. So moving to the next. Enum. Okay. So we'll go for enumeration. It's called as enumeration as well. So enum is a special class that represents the group of constant, unchangeable variable like final variables. So for example, we take example of the week, means week whole week actually 7 days. So there are 7 days actually. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That values are not going to change anytime. Okay. And suppose if you want to, if you have requirement in application, you have to select that values or use that values in any way. So simply we can just make it as a constant for the type safety actually, because some person might do the spelling mistake or might do the some case sensitive issues while typing. So instead of that, we will simply create an enum. So the person that working on the project will simply take the values from that particular list automatically. Okay, so we'll create one enum. It's a similar to the class only. Okay, right click on the project, that sorry package, new, and enum option is there. You can see E, create enum type. Clicked on that. I'm just giving the week. I'm just giving the name week or day. You will give the name as a day. Finish. Okay, now see. Monday. It is coming into the blue color. Tuesday. Okay, I'm putting this only 3 names now. Now it's become a constant. So if you want to use the data in your script, we can just use this day, and we can just call this options available in this list. Okay, I will just yeah, I will create one class again. Enum use. Okay, and now here I will just use dates dot, sorry, day dot. You are seeing the option Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because only 3 of this we added in the list. Not list, actually we sell, it's a enum actually, in enum. That's why we are seeing these 3 option only. Okay, so I will just go here, I will just use system this out, I will use shortcut. Okay, I will just type from enum. Day dot Monday. Okay, I'm just executing this. We can see we're getting the expected value. Okay, so the constant which we are giving here, it will be just, we can just use that from particular list into our required classes. And by default it's a static actually. You can see that this is a, we have not created object of this day, we can directly access it. So by default it's a static. We have not defined the static variable, that static keyword in front of that enum, but still it's a by default static. Just remember this part. Okay, so we can directly access this enum. We can do this for the months as well. Same thing, where we are thinking it's a constant values, that's unchangeable value, not going to change. So we can use these values. Enum class there, enum there. Okay, I think I lost the meeting. Okay, fine. Okay, when we use the value, question from the Diksha, when we use the values from different class, we need to use inheritance, but here we have not used. Does the enum class have advantage? No, Diksha, simply we are not using inheritance, but the class which are the static, that static also we are going to cover in next session actually, upcoming session. So actually static class, static method actually we can directly call from any class without inheritance. Okay, fine. Question is clear for the Diksha. Then question from the Ritesh. Okay, is this a kind of inheritance type because it's acting as the same? No, actually, it's not an inheritance. It's static. Static classes, static methods can be called without creating the object. So there is no inheritance needed, basically, Ritesh. Okay, fine. Question from the J. Can't we call and use enums in one class rather than creating 2 different classes? Use enum in one class rather than creating. Yeah, we can use that, Jay. We'll try. You meant to say this way, right? I will just copy this and paste it in enum use only. And I will just simply, for time being, I will just rename this name. You can see this is my day one, so you can ignore this now. It is not used in anywhere. So simply we are taking this Monday from this list. We can do this as well, but it's always recommended you can just keep it separate for more understanding. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the doubt is clear. So I will delete this. I will just, yeah, always one thing that I have not showed you now. So always when you are renaming any file, don't type it directly. So just right click on it, use refactor, and then rename only. So what is the advantage of this refactor? Whenever we are using this class or enum or any this string anywhere in our project, so it will be changed in whole project directly. We don't have to replace it manually. So you have to remember that, don't type it manually. Instead of that, just refactor that. Okay. So I will just show you the one more example of the refactor, how it impact actually. Not in this. I will just go over this. Okay, fine. Now see, this method A being used here as well. Okay. So if I change this method name here itself, suppose method A edit. Okay, it will show the error here in the method A. Okay, so we have to avoid that. We have to manually copy this class name and paste it here in the main method. So that's a bad practice actually. We should not that. We should don't do that. So we'll simply click on this, right click on this, refactor and rename. And we will change the name here now. Edit. So it will just replace here as well. So it will just save your time. Okay. Just remember this step as well. I will just show the option again. Right click, refactor, and then rename. Same applicable for the class name as well. Okay. You can do this for the class name as well. Suppose the class is using multiple test cases or multiple multiple times actually in your project. So simply right click on it, refactor, and rename that project. Okay. It's the best way. Okay. So one question from Diksha as well, like it can be for normal class also. Yes, Diksha. Static classes, a static method can be accessed without calling any object. Okay, I will just show you the one example so you will get a confidence on that. Okay, this method I will just make it as a static. Okay, so my method A edit is now static. So this is a one class global local variable. I will just call this static method from another class now. Okay, so for that I need class name. Okay, I will just copy this class name and I will just go to the another class. I will go to the main method, paste it here, dot. Now you can see the last method, the method A edit that we made static, we can directly access by using class name only. We don't have to create an object. This one. Okay, without no error. Okay. Okay. Thanks. The question answer is clear for Diksha. Okay. Now going to the in enum I showed you the fixed size of constant, that's static, and final actually. Final means the value cannot be changed. That is a final actually. It's by default final. So if you have defined Sunday here in the day, we cannot so not Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the variable that constant we have defined, we cannot change the value of this anyway. That's why it's a final by default. Moving to the next slide, constructors. Okay, this is again important part of the Java. Okay, so again I will create a new class. Every time I will create a new class because I'm just going to commit this all the code to the Git, and you can just take a pull and you can just do the R&D on that classes. I will show you how to take a pull on all that. Okay, so yeah, so constructor. Again, I missed to call the main method. I will just copy from another class. Again, I will want copy one method from another class instead of typing. Now see, whenever I am executing the program, okay, now it will not print anything because there is nothing in the main. Okay, now I will just create object of this constructor in Java. Constructor is equal to new. New is for the memory allocation. It's needed. Without that, we cannot execute the code. Okay. So think about this part actually, right hand side part. So whenever we are calling this new and class name, the default constructor is getting called. Okay. I will just define the default constructor. Actually, default constructor is not visible directly. Means it's defined in this way. Okay. This is the default constructor. If you write it or don't write it, it's a simply present there in the class. Okay. And it is a kind of method, but it is having same name as a class name. This name and this name should be matched actually. Okay, so this is a constructor first. Okay, so yeah, so now I can call this method dot method A. It will simply print this inside method A. Okay, so this is about the default constructor. Now there is second constructor. There is a parameterized constructor. Okay, simply I will just copy this, paste this, and I will just pass the parameter here, integer a or integer I. Okay, so I will just print something here, sys out inside I will just print the value as well, value of I. I should be small, not a camel. I will just make it small. Okay, now I have called this method A. Okay, I will execute this now. Now it has printed only this inside method A. Okay, so this is without parameter, right? We don't pass any parameter here. So this will simply call this default parameter. But in some cases, if I want to use this parameterized constructor, then what will I do? I will create an object in different way. Okay, so constructor, I will use the same class name. This is the reference is equal to new. Now you will see the suggestion. Okay, you can see this. This is the first one. This is second one. Second one is with parameter actually. Okay, simply I will pass 5 here. I'll say it. Okay, now I'm not calling any method. I will just execute this program. Now you can see the difference actually. Here in the first, I have called 2 lines of code to print this inside method A. And in second, we have not called any method, but we have written some code in the constructor itself. Means here, I will just control and right click on this constructor in Java. It will just go here. Okay, you can click open declaration, open implementation. Simply it will go at where we define that constructor. Okay, same I will do for this constructor in Java. It will go for here actually. But even if I delete this, it will give the error, because whenever we are just providing the parameters constructor, we have to give the default parameter as well there in this way. Okay. So for any doubts in this default and parameterized constructor? I will, it might not be clear where we can use this constructor for you. So I will just give the example in the automation. Okay. Suppose at page level, we have to create the driver instance, means we have to invoke the browser. Okay. So in that case, we simply pass the driver here, that particular web driver, and we will just write a code to initialize the driver, and that driver we can use further for the that particular perform some actions. Okay. Okay. Fine. 1 minute. Okay, fine. So I got one question from the Pooja. Can you explain instant block? So yeah. Also Pooja, I will explain this later. Instant block. I'm not recalling that term. That's why. Instant block. Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. Okay, this is about the default and parameters constructor. Okay, in ideal cases, in many projects, I have seen only we are using the default constructor. We are not parameterizing it, but only in some cases we can parameterize it according to our own requirement. Okay, this is about the constructor. Okay, then abstract class and the interface. This is again important part in the OOPS concept. Okay, so we have only 10 minutes. Okay, fine. Yeah, instead of that, I will just skip this slide and we'll just cover in next session. We'll cover this string class now. Okay, fine. Okay, because we have to understand interface and abstract class thoroughly. We cannot do it in hurry. Okay, so we'll just see for the methods in the string class. That's again important part. Class. Class use. We'll call this main method here. Finish. Okay. String A is equal to Yogesh. String B is equal to small Yogesh. Okay, so we can see the multiple options here now. Okay, so if I want to find the character at index, suppose if I want to find the index at character 1, so it will be O in both the cases, this one. Index always start with 0. So 0 will be Y, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I'll just use the sysub statement now to get more clarity on this. Caret plus a dot character at, I will just hard code the value now, character at 0. Control D. It will simply print. No, I have to create the object first in the main method, then only we can access this method string. dot method string. Okay, now I'll execute this. I have not put any space here. Yeah, now you can see character add. This is a y. Okay, this is one method. We'll go for the second. We will not see all the methods. We will see the frequently used methods. Okay. Now I will just look for this index of. Suppose I will just pass the character y. It will return. It should return the 0 as a. I will just put index. I'll just execute this. You can see. Am I audible? Actually, I lost my power here.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, okay. I connected mobile hotspot now. Okay, fine. So this is the second. Okay, I'll go for the third one. A dot. Yeah, I will simply replace O with camel O. Sorry. Okay, it will simply replace this O by camel O. Okay. You can see this now. The name printed into the camel Y, camel O. Okay. So in this way, we can have multiple methods here, like concat. If you want to append in different string to the Yogesh, I will just put the K here and I will just execute this now. How to print? Okay. You can see it's a Yogesh K now. Okay, so concat is used to append the string. Okay, I got 2 pings. Let me check. Okay, fine. Okay. I will use the equal method. Equal. See the equal. I will use equals b. I will just pass this b. So what is the expected? A equals b. Is it a really equal? Just ping me quick. Yes, perfect. Ritesh, Govind, Shwani, yeah. It's not really equal actually. It will just return the false. You can see it here. It will return the Boolean always. Okay, if you don't know the return type, what it will return it. So just simply go inside this method and look for the return type here. Okay. This is actually simple method that I'm showing you, but in some cases, if you try to work on the new framework that is very new to you. So simply, if you don't know return type, you can simply go inside the method and look for the return type of that particular method. And based on that, you can just assign to particular data type. Okay. But now, if I want to ignore the case, this camel case and small case, so there is one method again in the Java. We can just use equal ignore case. It will just ignore the case and it will just return as a true. run as Java application. So you can see it for equal ignore case, it's written as a true. Okay, like this, we'll use few more methods. Dot index, last index. If you use this last index, you will get the last index of that particular character. Suppose I am using ABC as a string, and if you want to get the index of the C, so it will just return the 5 because size of that ABC is 6 actually. So occurrence of the C at the last will be the at last point actually at this 5 number. So you can find the index of the last index of that particular character. You can get the length as well. I will just print the length here now. This is again important. You can see the length, it will should be 6. Yeah, 6, right? Okay, then one more. I will try some new. Yeah, suppose if I want to convert that string to the uppercase or lowercase, we can simply use this to lowercase or to uppercase. That is again important. Yeah, this trim. I will show you the trim use now. Okay, so I'm just putting one more string here as a C, and I will just putting the spaces. Okay, so I should ignore this space actually because this is not visible in some cases in the UI in application actually. So to skip this, to remove this space from the start and the end of the string, so we'll simply use the trim. Okay, now this is a trim. I will just show you the difference without trim and with trim. So that's what I did. I will just print this C. Okay, I will just comment out this above code. I will just execute this now. Now you can see here is a space actually at the start of the string and end of the string actually. Okay, you can see by just clicking the arrows, right arrows. Okay, and in below you cannot see the spaces because it's removed by the trim. Okay, so these are the different this kind of methods present in the string classes. So you can just try R&D on that and just let me know if you have any doubts here this class. Okay, and guys, one more thing, I am just committing all this code to the Git repository. I will just share with Shri, and then you can just take a pull. I will just show you how to take a pull first. Yeah, and I will just provide you this link, the chat window right now. I'm not sharing with the Shri. There is the chat window. Yeah, you can simply go here in the code. Simply, actually, I'm not seeing a few options here. Yeah, fine. You can simply download the zip. This is the first option if you don't know anything, or simply go for this HTTPS. This copy this. This is a copy actually. Click on this. Just go here in the Eclipse. If you open this workspace, right click on it. Use the import option. Go for the Git. Project from Git. Click next. Clone URI. Next. And you have to just copy paste this copied URL here. It will, all the things come automatically again, and then you have to go next, and you have to import the project. If you are finding this difficulty in importing the project, just wait. We'll take this detailed session to how to commit the code, how to take the pull in detail. So for time being, you can just take a zip from here at the last option. Yeah, here last option is here. You can just simply download the zip of this particular project, and you can just take import in Eclipse. Okay guys, that's enough for the day. So if you have any questions, you can ping me, or we will just take. I will just log in early tomorrow. Not early, actually. It's today is Friday, right? So we will join today by 10. Okay.
Tomorrow
And we'll
it
solve
will
your
be 10
problem.
o'clock, Yogesh. We
Yeah,
can.
10 o'clock. Yes, yes, yes. I just forgot. Just remember that.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Then thank you. We can close the call. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you, Yogesh. Have a good day.
Yeah. Bye. Shubham, you will answer your question tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.